Good afternoon, Mr. Mondavi. Please explain your most famous product M to our viewers and tell them why they should spend this huge amount for a simple Cabernet Sauvignon from California.
Well, the simple answer is because it tastes great. The wine M is from an estate vineyard that I have in the mountains of Napa-Valley.
How many hectares it is?
And it is only 9 hectares. It's very small, and it is the original and only hillside vineyard that was developed for Opus One back in the early 1990s.
So you must manufacture 15,000, 20,000 bottles of this with 8 hectares.
There's approximately 15,000 bottles that can be produced.
Yes.
But we started with 150 barrels.
Okay.
And in selecting and tasting the barrels, we selected only 30 barrels to bottle. So we cull down the amount because we're looking for a style of wine. We want rich, full flavor of the Cabernet from that soil.
Okay.
We want a kiss and complemented with the oak, and we want a delicate finish with the tannin.
A kiss of oak, that means how long it stays in oak?
It's 22 months in the oak. 80% is new barrel. The oak is from the Navarre forest of France. And we used 4 different coopers because we wanted to get a little complexity in the wine. It's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
We grow Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Syrah at the vineyard, but we found in blending it was not necessary because the hillside vineyard and with the volcanic rock gives so much character to the Cabernet Sauvignon. The other varieties seem to confuse the wine and not improve the wine.
Okay. An old big brand, another famous wine. Tell us please where you find the consumers for a wine like M. Where are the markets if the US economy stays as weak as now and world economy is not rising fast enough for this?
That's a very good question. I actually started producing this wine in 2004, and I didn't project accurately the economy at that time. So I didn't know we were going to have the problem.
Yeah.
But the good news is that we only have about 7,000 bottles of this wine.
Okay.
So it's not a great amount.
Yeah.
And I could have sold almost all of it directly to consumers in California. And I decided that is not the right thing. I wanted to have the wine available in the better quality wine shops, the better quality restaurants. And so we've been very select, trying to sell the wine to the top 5 or 6 restaurants, the top 5 or 6 wine shops
in US.
In the major markets in the US,
Okay.
and then in certain key cities internationally.
What is a key city? Paris?
No, because it's taking coals to Newcastle. We have never, we California producers have never been very successful selling wine in France.
Sure.
But here in Germany, in the UK, are very good markets. Asia is a very good market for high-end California wines.
Hong Kong, for example.
Hong Kong, Japan,
Okay.
and now mainland China also.
So with 8,000 bottles, you wouldn't reach all of them.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
For more and more European consumers, most US wine seems over-oaked with rich tannins and small elegance. Is it time for a change? Time to develop new wines for the European market? Lighter wines, elegant wines?
Well, the wines you just described are the cult wines of California, very high in alcohol, very oak forward, And those are wines that I personally cannot drink and will not drink.
Okay.
They, to me, are overly mature grapes made into wine. They should have been made into port. And I like the wine, the style of wine that I try to produce is similar to the first growths of Bordeaux. I like elegant wines. The reason I used the term a kiss of oak earlier is the oak needs to complement the Cabernet Sauvignon,
Yeah.
not overpower the Cabernet Sauvignon.
You describe M as well as a wine with an intellectual depth. Please explain why you proclaim this phase.
Well, it's a wine that doesn't hit you in the face
Okay.
like the big alcoholic wines
Yeah.
of some of the cult wines of California. It's a wine that you can enjoy the aroma, and you get different layers
Okay.
of aroma. When you taste the wine, it is full on the mouth, but it's full at the same time being delicate. It's has an elegance.
This is the intellectual depth.
Very much so.
Okay.
The nuances, the layers of flavor
Okay.
continue. They stay on your palate, and after you've tasted the wine, you have a very pleasant firmness in the mouth from the tannin, but
How
it's
many-
not overly harsh.
How many years you tried for this?
The first 2 years I produced it, 2003 and 2004, I did not like the balance and the finish of the wine. I did not bottle it.
Okay. This is the first.
This is the first,
2005.
the third vintage I've produced, the first one that I put in the bottle.
Do we need to see more small U.S. Wineries, guerrilla wineries in U.S.? Small wineries like yours?
Well, there are 375 wineries now in Napa-Valley alone.
Yeah.
In 1966, there were only 12, so
Okay.
there's been a tremendous growth.
But huge wineries, not small ones. Huh?
No, the vast majority, all but 5 of them are small.
Okay.
And
But what means small? It means 50,000 bottles or something?
50,000 bottles or less.
Okay.
And I think that what we've found is as 1 or 2 wineries get very big, many small ones begin. And at least the American consumer is now seeking out the small, naturally grown wines.
Okay.
They want to know who is the person behind the wine,
Yeah.
not which is the corporation.
So this is the next
Behind the
question.
wine.
Is it very important to use Facebook, Twitter for
We-
a winter, for a modern winter?
Yes, we are learning to use Facebook and Twitter, and fortunately, my son and daughter thoroughly understand and live in that world,
Yeah.
where I'm part of the older, more obsolete from electronic standpoint, but I enjoy going on Twitter and Facebook and
Because you have direct contact, you have to answer the
Yes.
consumer. He can have questions to you and you can answer all his questions. No?
well, the nice thing is you get direct input from the consumer.
Yeah.
And if you are smart and if you care, you can then respond in a timely way as well. Would you like a taste?
Yeah, sure. Oh, oh.